Hi, it's Lisa from the Dog Play and Learning Centre. I just wanted to come on and do a short talk about dog treats. So I often get asked what treats I should be feeding my dogs. Alternatively, some of the dogs that come to me for behaviour work or training classes, or the dogs in our Care for Play days, we can watch their behaviour and we need to check with the owners what brand of food are you feeding and what treats are you using. So I'm going to focus on treats and just keep this quite short. Raw hide is bleached and glued, so it's a massive no-no for feeding your dog that. It gets stuck in the intestines and they can't really digest it, it's processed, it's rubbish. But what happens is, so at the weekend I was at Pets at Home going through the checkout, just getting all my stuff, and they've got the baskets, and so they're filled with things like Wag treats, which are £1, and they're really colourful and folk buy them, but it's like feeding Smarties to kids. The rawhide's there, and so they must have had like a rawhide bone and a rawhide candy cane. It's all Christmas themed. It's like 2 or 3 foot in length, but it's 2 or 3 foot of absolute garbage. It's bleached and glued and it's disgusting. So do not feed your dog rawhide. I know it's difficult if you've got a box of treats lying in your house and you think, well, I really want to use them up. I don't want to waste them. Be mindful, you're feeding your dog Smarties. You're giving them kind of Red Bull, that kind of stimulant. So it massively affects their behaviour. I am tempted to just get rid of things. When people come to visit me with my dogs, it's not that I'm a food snob, it's just that I don't want to feed my dogs that type of crap because it affects their behaviour. My Great Dane, as most of you will know, he's not great with other dogs because he got bullied. So he's 3 years old, he's half Great Dane, half kangaroo. If we give him Bakers or pedigree or something like that, it just makes him hyper. His behaviour's off the chart, he's already a bouncy boy, so I don't need to further add fuel to that fire. So what do I feed my dog? So I've just got some treats here. So this is a lot of natural stuff from Pets at Home. So this here is, it's got a beef filling in it, and it's a trachea. Pets at Home, I think, is like £1.99, so that's not too bad. If your dog's a big dog, it's going to take a wee while to get through this. This is another trachea. It's not stuffed though, £1.99 again. If I'm using training treats, I've got Millie's Wolf Heart here. So this is the fish version. This is quite a good one. At bedtime, sometimes the dogs go out, they have a pee in the garden, and they want something for it. I don't mind paying them for that. So last night pee, they get a wee bedtime biscuit. Lily's Kitchen is a really good brand. So these are on offer in Pets at Home just now for £2.50. They're maybe normally a bit dearer than that, but they're really good. So it's a good brand to feed your dog food and their training treats. Similarly, if I'm working with dogs in a training environment, I really like Pet Munchies. So these are a good one. I just need to shift these out of the way of the Great Dane because it's an opportunity for them. So Pet Munchies, these are training treats, so these are quite small in size, but they do lots of other treat-sized treats. Normally I buy these online, and for a box it's maybe about £12-13, but you're getting 8 packs in a box, so that's good. It's not too expensive. If you're going into Pets at Home, they're really well versed on their food. They do quite a bit of training, so you can ask them about food, you can ask them about treats, but do avoid all your sort of brands that you get in the supermarket, because the dog food industry, the pet food industry, is not one that's highly regulated, so any old crap can go in it, and unless you can understand how to read it, the ingredients, you're not going to know. So basically the rule of thumb is you turn something over, if you can pick up all the ingredients off a supermarket shelf, it's worth getting. So the likes of Millie's Wolf Heart, Lily's Kitchen, Nature's Menu, those are good brands. But when you're going into Pets at Home, they've got some really good ones. Smart Bones are brilliant. They're really good, but they are like between £7 and £10 for a pack of treats. So it looks like they're all hide, but it's not. Whimsies, that's another brand. They've got sort of toothbrush and hairbrush looking style treats, and they're fairly relatively cheap. You can buy a full bag and it's a tenner, but it depends on the size of your dog and how often you're treating them. But just what you've got to think about, if you're giving your dog all the Smarties and all the Red Bulls, you can't wonder why their behaviour's off the roof, or why they're behaving in certain ways or different or a bit hyper or a wee bit annoying, because if we're plying them with that kind of stuff, if I fed my kids McDonald's all the time, I wouldn't need to wonder why their behaviour was, off the charts, so to speak. So it's the exact same for dog. It massively matters what you feed them. So you're better to feed them nothing than to feed them crap, or don't buy them treats and use things like cooked meat. It's a wee bit like, a lot of people say, oh, I don't really give my dog treats. that's fine. But ultimately, if the dog's doing something good, or when you're outside and you're trying to reinforce recall, don't be miserable. Pay them for coming back to you, but use something decent. So it massively matters what you feed them. If you would like more information about diet, do get in touch. I'm not qualified or insured to give dietary or nutrition advice, but I can certainly pass you on to colleagues who will give you a consultation. I think they do online for £40. These are vets, but these vets specialise in diet. Not every vet does, so if you're going to your own vet, do ask them to have they specialise in it, because it's an absolute minefield. But if you want to get in touch, I can give you information and just a little bit of guidance about these topics. But it's just to say, do think, be mindful about what you're feeding the dog, not just any old rubbish, and don't be afraid to ask questions.